Hello, thanks for stopping by today. If you are interested in the supplies and measurements for today's card, there is a link in the information section below to the blog post with all the information. Today's card, and here it is, isn't it cute? Giving you a sneak peek for an upcoming class. I use the Forever Fern stamp set. One of these images, I don't know which one, it didn't really matter because they're both the same, they just go in different directions. My sentiment comes from Have a Beautiful Day, and then I also used the Forever Flourishing dies, specifically this one. All right, so I'm going to show you, oops, I forgot, and the greenery embossing folder. And if you look, this one's not wide enough. I shared earlier, or I'm going to share earlier, how to do one for another card. It'll be later this week. But to do this one, what you want to do is take your card, put it in here, and we're going to run it through the Big Shot. Now make sure it's even with the bottom so that you get it's straight. So I'm going to go run this through the Big Shot. Okay, and as you can see, there's a section that's not embossed. What I'm going to take and do is I'm going to take my folder and I'm going to keep this piece even with the bottom, and I'm just going to kind of move it around like I'm looking at my pieces here at the end, and I'm moving it around, and it's not going anywhere, so it's locked into those embossing pieces. So I'm gonna make sure I hold it in place. I gotta turn it this way, it'll be better. All right, and you can kind of feel when it locks in. All right, not quite there yet. It slipped on me. All right, there it is. So use your pieces at the top, fold it over, hold it in place, and then you're going to run this through the Big Shot. And what you have to be careful of is to make sure that this is not too wide, that you're going to cut this off. So this piece is going to go way over to the edge. Okay, and there you have it. Now it's off a little bit here, so it'll be hidden mainly by this panel, so it's not going to show. I didn't have it lined up, it slipped on me. So that's the thing. I would suggest you tape it in place, and that'll help. All right, so I've got my card base. Oh, I forgot all my measurements. There it is. This piece was 4 by 5 1/4. And then your card base is your normal size, and this is going to go on like this. And I'm going to use some tear and tape to go down here, and I'm going to do all the way around on this so that it stays in place. It helps if this cardstock, when you first put it in, is perfectly straight. If it's not, you'll have a problem with it. So just make sure you get it in straight. I'm moving my sample all around. Okay. And I'm going to burnish my ends. I hadn't shared any tips and tricks lately, so I thought I would share some ideas with you. And I love using embossing folders, so this was a good way to show it to you. Some other ways to kind of extend it, especially if it's not long enough or wide enough. All right, this I'm going to put on, and I'm going to put it on like this. All right, so like so. All right, so there's that. Now we have to create this panel. So I started with a piece that's 3.5 by 4 3/4. I then took a scrap piece of paper and I cut this out. I saved those other pieces. There's one little tiny piece there that I didn't worry with, and as you can see, it doesn't really affect it too much, but it was really tiny. So what you have to do is determine where you want this on your card base, like so. And then this piece, so you have to save all your pieces, you're going to put down in here and just pop it in like a puzzle so that you have those pieces. I took these pieces and added some multi-purpose glue on the back and let it dry. That makes it repositionable. So then I put the pieces back in, and this one ripped on me, so I have to be careful. Put the pieces back into the puzzle like so. Then I took, and I'm going to leave that there for the time being, I took my pretty Peacock ink and a sponge, all right, and I carefully removed this out, leaving those other pieces in there. Oops, that one didn't come out. So just kind of push down on it when you get to that area to lift it, and the same with the others, and they'll stay in place. Then you're going to take your sponge and you're going to sponge your background. So you're basically using your die and creating a stencil. And then what I did before I picked this all the way off is I kind of picked it up and peeked underneath, and if I was happy, I took it off. Now you can save this and this piece. Like I said, this one ripped, so I might have to cut a new one before I use it again. And this, and see how you've got that definition in there? So I've done that, and then I took my leaf and I stamped it full strength on there, which I liked because it gave it some interest. And then my sentiment, which came from Very Versailles, and I need to check and see if it is, there's a scrap piece of paper. Usually I have a ton. All right. I need to make sure which way I have to stamp it so that it's straight. All right, so it's got to be more at an angle. All right, got an idea. And then I'm going to stamp this up here at the top for my sentiment. Now this to me was lacking something. So I took my marker and my ruler. Now you want to make sure this is dry, so I'm going to wave it because that ink is pretty wet. And then what I took and did, oh my gosh, can't even talk. What I did was I took this ruler, and I love this ruler. I'm going to move this out of the way just a little bit. And I lined it up, and the reason I like this ruler, and I'm going to do it this way because then I know, is it's a, there's an edge here, and it kind of sits against your DSP. If I can get it straight, it will. All right. It sits against your DSP, so you get a straight edge. And I'm going to slide it up just a little, and then I'm going to hold it in place. And this time we're going to use the writing end. And I just took and I drew a line. I didn't go all the way across. Oh, and I stopped there, but that's all right. We'll change this one. All right, and then I'm going to take, and I'm going to do the same thing going the other way, but this time I'm going to use the other edge of the ruler so that I can use the top to get a straight line. I can't do this with the pen in my hand. right, so there's that. All right. I never have this much trouble. I do not know what is wrong with me lately. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of interest, and when I get to that edge, I am not, I skipped it. So I just added a little bit of extra on the bottom on this one. All right, so there you have it. And again, I'm going to wave it. That one I moved over 1/4 of an inch and before I started drawing my line. So I just add a little bit of extra on the end. So I'm going to take dimensionals now, and I'm going to put these all over my card base so that I have lots of coverage with it. I used a lot, in fact on that one what I actually used was fun foam. I have some thin fun foam that I purchased, and I use that for big panels like this because it's just easier and I don't have to worry about whether the image is going to collapse or not in the mail. So I'm just going to add a bunch of these. I think I can add one there in the middle. So there we go. I have a lot on the back. Now I'm going to take my pokey tool and take all of these off. It'll take me a while. I love using like fun foam for larger panels. It just gives it more support, and I know it's not going to collapse or wrinkle, bend when it goes through the machines at the post office. All right. So now I'm going to put this on, and it goes right in the middle like so. And then I again felt it needed something. So one of the items that I will be using for my Halloween class is the iridescent pearls, which is part of the Halloween suite in the catalog. And I kind of looked around. There were some that have a bluish tint to it, and those are the ones that I chose to use. So this one has a, I said blue, but it's more of a green. This one has a blue tint to it. So just kind of look at it and choose ones that will kind of go with that background. All right. And there may not be any difference, but there is to me. Those are blue, that's the green. So that one even has a reddish tint to it. So there we have it. All right, not bad. And my envelope and the inside I stamped with that image. If you have enjoyed today's video, would you please give it a thumbs up, which is a like on YouTube. I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. Click the button below. If you want to be notified when I upload a video, click the bell next to the subscribe button. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope I inspired you with today's creation. Have a great day.